So with Hideo Kojima having departed to make newer, weirder shit and Konami's continuing hatred of anything fun, it sadly seems unlikely that we'll ever see a full-scale Metal Gear Solid anime adaptation. After all, it's pretty hard to stuff microtransactions into a film or series, though I wouldn't put it past Konami to try. Fortunately for us fans of tactical espionage action, there exists a movie that hits so many similar beats to MGS, it really is only lacking a badass super soldier voiced by David Hayter. Sorry, Keith.
Hey, Keith, you a pirate, man.
That would explain everything.
That's not just me being clickbaity. The topic of discussion in this video, Genocidal Organ, has a number of connections to MGS. It began as a book written by frequent Kojima collaborator and fan Project Ito, who also wrote the novelization of MGS4. There's also a number of similarities in style, tone, and theme, near future settings with military protagonists discussing the morality of war and the technology used to fight it. The anime adaptation of Genocidal Organ suffered a troubled production, with the original studio behind it shutting down in 2015. It's clearly been a passion project for its creators, however, who founded a new studio in order to see it finished. I'm truly grateful they did, as Genocidal Organ has become a personal favourite of mine amongst the sci-fi titles released over the last few years. Though marketed as some sort of action-packed shoot-em-up, it would be more accurate to call this movie a sci-fi thriller, focusing on a team of elite soldiers tasked with hunting down a mysterious figure who is apparently capable of inciting nations into brutal, genocidal acts with his mere presence. Our protagonist Shepard finds himself spiraling down into this grim, near-future world of mental conditioning for soldiers, surveillance states, secret societies, and DARPA-funded language research, all of which blends together into a brilliant dystopian fusion that feels real enough to be a plausible near-future world, whilst remaining distinct. Show don't tell is a rule anime often forgets when trying to convey a lot of dense material, but I'm happy to say it's a rule Genocidal Organ deploys well. There's a great attention to detail in its lore and tech that helps draw the viewer in, a lot of clever little nods and allusions that don't necessarily go anywhere but show how much thought has gone into the story. Not to mention that the action sequences are brilliantly done. Eschewing the hyper-stylized, larger-than-life violence that you sometimes see in anime, Genocidal Organ delivers a grounded, visceral experience that draws comparisons to films such as Cesario from its intensity. It manages to bring a claustrophobic thrill to its combat sequences through the use of first-person visuals and the close framing of characters. The equipment, vehicles, and mechs on display are all able to lend to this sense of plausibility surrounding the violence being shown. You might not get as many action sequences as the trailers display, but what you get does leave a mark. As you can probably guess by the title, Genocidal Organ doesn't shy away from controversial subjects, much in the same way as MGS. That being said, its depictions of the impact of conflict on society, from the massive devastation it can cause to moral horrors such as child soldiers, are done with less of the wild zaniness that the MGS franchise is known for. Instead, it plays things completely straight and is all the better for it in my view. I don't want to give away too much about the story, since the real joy in thrillers comes from guessing where the plot is going, but the way it handles the notion of mental conditioning in soldiers really had me thinking about the possible ramifications of such a technology long after the movie ended. We've said it before on We Heart Giant Robots, the best sci-fi has a message, a subject it wants to explore through the genre. Genocidal Organ kills it on this front and doesn't forget to be entertaining in the process. If the sorry state of the MGS franchise has you jonesing for some espionage action, or if you like your sci-fi with a healthy dose of gritty war thriller, you really want to check this movie out.